I'm Austin Kershaw. I've lived here my whole life. I've born and raised here. My first instrument was definitely the drums. Was my first real instrument. My parents got me a drum set. I was about 13, I think, 12 or 13, maybe even 14. Because like any good parent, yeah, well, we'll see if you actually want to do that before I buy you a drum set. So I understand that completely. But yeah, so I started. I was about 13 or 14. I started playing Nirvana songs. Started playing. The grunge era, because that's kind of where I was a young, impressionable young lad at that time. And then I remember I heard And Justice for All, Metallica and Justice for All the first time, and was like, that's the kind of drums I want to do. And so from there I went, Megadeth, Slayer, and I've always played drums in every band I've ever been in. This is the first time I've ever played guitar or any other instrument besides drums. Yeah, I still go back to the drums. I love playing guitar. I love to death, but the drums that's my guy. What got me into music was actually, it's kind of funny because it's Looney Tunes, the cartoon. I just remember hearing the piano, and specifically Franz Liszt's Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2. It's my favorite piece of music ever written. And I remember hearing that and watching, cartoons and hearing all the different classical music. I just loved classical music, and I just kind of started getting into it, and yeah, I just fell in love with it from there. That's what I do. The first band I was in was a local band, and actually both the guys are still here. They both still live here. It was a band called MadCap. I was 15, and I used to have to get rides to my buddy's house to go practice because I didn't drive. I didn't have a license. I wasn't old enough to have a license. So my parents would help me pack up my drums and take me to my buddy's house. We'd go practice, and they'd come and get me. So yeah, that was the first band I was in called MadCap, and I think we played our first show, I want to say 97. It was a little heavier, but not as heavy as I like to do now. It was more of a grunge. A lot of influence by Tool at the time and Rage Against the Machine. So that kind of vibe to it. There's some stuff on YouTube you can go find still. It's pretty pretty fun to watch. Quite a few of those, and had quite a few parties at our place, and that was always fun because I always enjoy performing for people. That's why I play live. I mean, I enjoy that. I love that adrenaline rush, and so me and the lead singer of that band, kind of started looking for other people. We had another friend of ours that was a bass player, so we got him, and then we ended up getting two other guys that we all went to high school with, but I didn't really know them in high school, and so I'd met them afterwards, and all five of us got together and we started a band called Kill Call, and I played in that band for, oh man, we played a lot of shows. Probably till 2007-ish, so pretty solid from 2002, 2007-ish. Played a lot of good shows in Seattle, and that was a lot of fun. That was good, heavy music, and I still have people today that are like, man, I miss that band. And I'm like, yeah, I do too. It was good. The music was it was so much fun and so energetic, but it was heavy at the same time, And our singer, he could yell, but it wasn't, you could understand him. You could make out what he was saying. So it was that's what I like. I like to be able to hear what people are saying, but to be heavy with that, it was like, this is what I want to do, And at the time, my career, I worked at the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard, and so I actually considered that my second job at the time. Like, that's a good career. That's a big job, and this one's paying my way to be able to do this. But it's a matter of, are you willing to do the work to do this? I know I'm not going to speak for the other guys, but I can't say that I was, because I just wanted to fall in my lap. I didn't realize at the time how hard you have to work in order to do this. And so that was the goal. But, again, things don't work out and stuff happens and you miss something, just, barely miss an opportunity or something. And, could have been different if we would have had a different opportunity. So, but a lot of good things learned out of that band, and a lot of good music come out of that band. I don't regret any of it, and it was a lot of fun. I was in another band called Trailer Park Tweed with a bunch of other local guys and gals from the area, and that was a great band too. It was so much fun. It was a weird mix of people, just musically anyways, because like me and our guitar player, real into black metal, death metal, that kind of stuff. The other guitar player very into like prog, very Dream Theater type stuff. Bass player kind of grew up punk. She was actually the original bass player in Hell's Bells. Fun fact. And then our singer was from Tennessee, and he was kind of had that southern drawl. So between all of us, it just worked out just perfectly. I mean, we had songs about NASCAR, so it was kind of had a bit of country to it, but it was definitely heavier, definitely on the heavier side, and it was just so much fun. And we played at the old bar called Winterlands in East Bremerton. That was like our home base. So Micah, our lead singer, he actually worked there too at the time. And Tony, the other owner, were just super cool. And they would, you guys can just practice in here. It's okay. Because like on a Wednesday night, there's nobody in there. And if there is, they're coming in to watch the band. So it was, they're kind of a win-win. And we were just, hanging out, drinking some beers, having tacos, and, it was like the best case scenario for a band. When Winterland, the bar itself closed down, and so that was actually our practice space too. So when that closed down, our practice space went away, and we just never got back together. It was never at it was just, we just didn't have any place to do it, and kind of just horrible circumstances at the time, or horrible timing again. But there's some stuff on YouTube too. That was a lot of fun. That band was definitely a good mix of metal and I almost want to say rockabilly kind of. And it's funny to see the footage of us because we all dress how we dress, and we're not even close, me and the guitar player dressed in black pretty much, and he's kind of got a flannel, it was just we had a great time. It was so much fun just to go do that, and it was, oh man, I miss it. That was a good one. October 2020, I was diagnosed with cancer and had no idea. Went from totally, hey, no big deal, to, by the way, you have cancer and you're starting chemo. And so that was October 1st, 2020. I started chemo December 1st, 2020. And then I was extremely isolated because now I'm on hardcore, I lost all my hair, middle of a pandemic going on. I'm starting chemotherapy, hardcore chemotherapy, so I can't be around anybody that's got COVID or anything because that's not good. And then even like when I had to go to the hospital for stuff, I couldn't have any visitors, so I was in there by myself, so I had a lot of time, even if my kids got sick, they'd isolate me out to the garage, because we couldn't be around each other just in case. I spent 35 days total in the hospital. So for those 35 days, up until the very end of that, I couldn't have any.
Bring it, baby. Bring it.
And then signed up for online music theory classes. So I didn't have to go anywhere. I could do it all from my house. I could do it right there from my garage. I could have everything plugged in. I could play along. It was for as crappy of a situation it was perfect for that. And so out of that, I started learning a little bit. I'm definitely no expert in music theory, but enough to where I was like, okay, that makes sense. If I have this riff, I know I can go over here because it's in the same key, or if it's the relative minor. I understood what those things meant, and so I didn't have that block of, well, I didn't even know where to try. It's like I could sit here all day and just go up and down the fretboard, but I need, that's going to take all day. What are the cheat codes basically of music, and that was it, music theory. So from there, I started writing, wrote this album. There's 7 songs on it. I wrote them all. I got everything together and got all the master tracks and got all the artwork together and put it together and sent it out to the world. A friend of mine, Brandon Stewart, I'll drop his name because he's a local artist too. Amazing artist. So when I was in the hospital for a bunch, he was kind enough to gift a membership to Astronomy magazine because we both are into space and stars and all that stuff. We both love it. So he signed me up for that so I could bring the astronomy magazines with me into the hospital, and I'd sit there and read it. And one of the things I was reading was Life Hypothesis, was about, the chances of actually life taking form and different planets and all this other stuff. And it was like, well, that's kind of fits for kind of what I'm doing, because I kind of look at the whole cancer thing and the human being in general as like, this is a hypothesis of a life. And that's why the name of the album is It's Overdue to Evolve, because we're overdue, because nobody needs cancer anymore. Like we should be evolved past that. And, that was just my way of thinking for basically the whole album. So the song What Am I that's basically what I was thinking at the time. It was just like, what the hell? What's going on right now? Again, I'm Austin Kershaw with the Project Life Hypothesis. It's available on iTunes, Spotify, Bandcamp. I got some stuff on YouTube. I got some stuff on Instagram, at Life Hypothesis on Instagram, and Facebook is Life Hypothesis. Everything's available there, and the album's available there as well, and coming soon to a stage near you. We're going to play it live, damn it. Roll on you stenographer, I hope.